Only Fate Episode 3. Cracks Between Worlds continues Avery's message. Iceland is calm today. The sky's a little overcast, but the waves are beautiful. I wish you were here to see it. She stared at the message for a moment before hitting send. It was the truth. She did wish Kaia were there with her. Avery had never felt so connected to someone before, and the thought of Kaia seeing the beauty of Iceland in person made her heart flutter. As the wind picked up, Avery stood, slipping her phone into her pocket and making her way back toward the small cottage she called home. The path was familiar, but today, every step felt a little lighter, as if the connection she shared with Kaia was guiding her along the way. The distance between them seemed to blur, even if only in her mind. Kaia's POV Kaia sat in her apartment, her sketchbook open in front of her. The pages were filled with quick sketches and half-formed ideas, but nothing felt quite right. Her mind wasn't on her art, not today. It was on Avery. The messages they had exchanged earlier kept replaying in her mind. Avery had talked about the waves in Iceland, the calm that came with them, and how she wished Kaia could see it. The thought made Kaia's heart skip a beat. It was such a simple thing, but it meant more than Avery probably realized. Kaia, thinking, why do I want to be there with her so badly? It didn't make sense, and yet it did. She had never met Avery, but their connection felt more real than most of the relationships she had in Paris. With each passing day, their conversations became more personal, more intimate, and Kaia couldn't ignore the way her heart responded. She picked up her phone and opened the photo Avery had sent earlier of the Icelandic sunset. The colors were soft, almost dreamlike, and Kaia could picture herself standing there, beside Avery, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The thought was both comforting and overwhelming. How could she feel so strongly about someone she had never seen in person? Her fingers hovered over the keyboard for a moment before she typed out her message. Kaia's message. I really wish I could be there too. Paris is beautiful, but sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on something more. Something quieter, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to explain. She sent the message and set her phone aside, running her fingers through her hair as she stared out the window at the city below. The sounds of Paris filtered up to her apartment, honking cars, chattering voices, the distant hum of life. Normally, those sounds would ground her, remind her why she had come here in the first place. But today, they only made her feel more distant, more detached. Kaia couldn't help but wonder what it would be like to leave Paris, to see Iceland with her own eyes, to stand beside Avery and share the silence she had only read about. It was a dangerous thought, one that made her heart race with both excitement and fear. Avery's POV. Back at her cottage, Avery sat by the window, watching as the waves continued their dance against the shore. She had always found peace in the ocean, but lately, that peace had felt incomplete. It was as if something was missing, and Avery was beginning to realize that maybe that something was Kaia. Her phone buzzed with Kaia's reply, and Avery smiled as she read it. Kaia's words resonated with her, the feeling of missing out on something quieter, something more meaningful. Avery felt it too, and the more they talked, the more it became clear that they were both searching for the same thing. Avery, thinking, is it crazy to think that maybe we're what each other is looking for? The thought made her heart skip a beat, but she pushed it aside. It was too soon to think like that, too soon to believe that this connection could be anything more than a distant friendship. But even as she tried to convince herself, Avery couldn't shake the feeling that there was something deeper at play, something that had brought them together across the distance, across the cracks between their worlds. She typed her response, her fingers moving slowly as she chose her words carefully. Avery's message. I know what you mean. I've always felt like there's something more out there, something I'm missing. But lately, it feels like I'm getting closer to finding it. She hesitated for a moment before adding, Avery's message, continued. Maybe we're both finding it in each other. Her heart raced as she hit send, the weight of her words sinking in. She didn't know what Kaia would think, how she would respond, but she couldn't keep holding back. Not anymore. As the minutes passed, Avery waited, her mind spinning with possibilities. She stared out at the horizon, the endless expanse of ocean stretching out before her, and wondered if maybe, just maybe, the distance between them wasn't so vast after all. Kaia's POV, as episode 3 continues. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.